Well, good morning, good afternoon or evening, and welcome to episode 25 of the EGU Podcast for Awakening and Emerging Spiritual Entrepreneurs. We are here today to help you thrive. I am Michelle Reinhardt, your host and creator of the Entrepreneurs Globally Unite online community, and I'm excited to introduce you today to a guest who is a healer, a shaman, and a spiritual coach. This lady is on a mission to help conscious entrepreneurs become a powerful force of positive change in the world. I'd love to welcome to the show Yelena Kostyugova. Welcome, Yelena.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Yes, I'm honored to be here.
Oh, it's a delight to have you. I'd just love to invite our guests right now to grab a pen and paper, turn off your zings and pings for 30 minutes and turn on your undivided attention and slide your heart right into place. Drop into that space and listen deeply to get the jewels of wisdom that we have to share with you today. Get ready for some fun and a whole lot of new ideas. And Yelena, would you please get the ball rolling by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got started into this wonderful world of spiritual development?
Yes. So like you say, so I'm a healer, a shaman, and a spiritual coach. And my specialty is predominantly working with women. I do have some male clients as well, but men on the spiritual path are still a very rare thing.
They are.
And they're very, very special. Those who are, they know they're very special and they're different. So predominantly my clients are women, and women that are drawn to work with me are the ones that have a dream to make the world a better place. I know that all of us do. And so the women that I work with, and my specialty is in helping them to get into their power place, which in Maori spirituality is called Turinga Waiwai, your standing place, your place of power. What I'm seeing is women, even with the biggest dreams and the best business ideas or business strategies, tend to only run so far. There is this thing out there happening as burnout, and I've been there many, many times myself, so I know. So what I help my clients do is stop using their personal power, because no matter how big your dream is and no matter how beautiful your business is, if you're using only your personal power, you will burn out. So I move them into using greater power, being plugged in and connected to the spiritual power. So the work I do with my clients is what I call spiritual empowerment. And then the women that I work with and their businesses become magnetic. You know, that's a very, very common word now, but I mean it in a very real sense in terms of it's empowered by something invisible, and I call it secret source. So when we have that connection, the deeper connection within us, and when we are aligned in our Turinga Waiwai, then whatever we put out, whether it's an offer on Facebook, whether it's content on our website, whether it's creating our course or anything, or even talking to somebody, it has something, a secret source in it. So sometimes people wouldn't know exactly what it is, but they feel there is something in that person or in their message that attracts them. And usually they would comment like, "Oh, I love your energy." So, which is kind of this undefined, but that's what I call the secret source. It's like there is something in it. It's coming from such a deeper place, and it has in it this greater energy that's propelling it forward. So your message then moves forward without your energy. It's moving forward with that greater power. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And for our listeners, I'd just love to remind them that their ears are they switched on right now. They're here for a really, really good reason. There are no accidents. And Yelena, may I ask you to dive a little deeper into your Turinga Waiwai? How simple is this process? Because we do overcomplicate things, do we not?
Yes, that's right. And there is something I'm observing out there, which I coined as life purpose anxiety. People, because there's life purpose and soul purpose or soul mission, different names, is so popular out there that what I'm seeing is that we get caught up in that need of needing to have a clear definition of our life purpose or our soul purpose, especially when we hear somebody else talking about their life purpose. We're like, oh, they've got it figured out. And I don't have words for it. I don't know what it is. And so that's what causes the life purpose anxiety. But actually, when I speak about Turinga YY, it is not about what you do. It is about who you are and how you are being. So your standing place, your place of power, is not about exactly what you do out there in the world. You could be a lawyer, you could be an accountant, you could be a graphic designer or a healer or a coach. That doesn't matter. But if you have a spiritual heart, which I know everybody who listens to Michelle's podcast do, so then the place that you're coming from is that place which I would call you a light worker. So again, it's a very, very common word, but very misunderstood as well, that people think that a light worker is somebody who is a healer or a coach. And I had a conversation with a lawyer recently, and she wasn't considering herself as a light worker. But I've explained what my point, like how I see a light worker, is that a light worker is who is anchored in their Turinga YY and coming from that deeper place, working with greater power and bringing light through their work. So they don't have to be a healer or a coach. They can be a lawyer or an accountant. So to answer your question, how do you do Turinga YY? That was my roundabout way explaining that actually that you can be a light worker no matter what you do. And the only thing you need is alignment. So you need to be aligned spiritually. And how do you do that? Well, the first thing to that is, it's going to sound weird, but who do you work for? I used to work for myself. I've had my business for over 9 years, and for a big chunk of that, I worked for myself. And when I worked for myself, I used to fall in and out of love with my business. Today I like it, tomorrow it's too hard, too much rejection, it's too much fear. I don't want to do this accounting and all these other things in the business. I just love coaching people, but all that other stuff in the business, I don't like it. So that's what was happening when I was working for myself, and I was burning out. 3 months, I would go for 3 months. It seemed to be a cycle, 3 months, and then I would have to take months off, which was detrimental for my business. So I went through these loops for, I can't remember, 3 or 4 years, exactly can't remember, but about 3 or 4 years until I was like, wow, I can't do this anymore. This is not sustainable. And I had my own personal crisis where it went so deep that I fell into depression.
Wow. Became
suicidal. And then through a personal journey of awakening and really connecting with myself at the point where I seem to have lost everything, like I've lost the definition of what's important to me, and I was already a life coach at the time. So by everybody's books, I should have been okay and happy because I had my life purpose figured out. See? Like, okay, I'm a coach. That's what I'm meant to do. I'm already doing it.
You were the epitome of life purpose anxiety.
Exactly. But yet I was so not okay inside until I had a crisis point and realized I cannot work for myself anymore. I am here to do really big things, and I cannot do it on my own. I have to surrender myself to something that's greater than me, something that's bigger than me, and allow that to guide me, which was very scary because I've got a degree in economics. So I'm a very left brain. Well, not now, but I used to be very left brained, logical person. And having control over my life was how I made things happen. I'm a high achiever. And so having control over all events in my life is how I got to where I was. Kind of on one level, which was far, on another level, completely depressed. So there was this crisis point of me fighting myself and knowing and understanding the way I have been doing things have worked and got me very far, but it is not the way that's going to help me go further. That's the end of the road. I have to reorient myself internally. And that was a very painful time. And thankfully at that time, I met a medicine woman who gave me my first blend of first light flower essences. And we can talk about it, Michelle, but that will be probably longer than half an hour. This is just something I love talking about. So basically, though, that blend, I call them, they saved my life, because when I took that blend, it touched me so deep. Those essences, those plants touched me so deep that nothing ever got that deep. So I felt them in my soul, and my soul got awakened at that time.
Beautiful.
At that time, I surrendered myself, and now I work for spirit. So my Turenga YY and my standing place is my service to spirit. This is where it starts. This is where it stands. There is only one authority in my life, and it is spirit. So whether I feel like today putting an offer out on Facebook or not, whether I feel like recording my video today or not, whether I have a fear of rejection or fear of doing the wrong thing, has no power over me at all. I'll be honest with you that I still have those things, and I'm very honest always. So I'm not going to say, once you connect with spirit, it's all going to be hunky-dory and you'll have, pinky fluffy stuff and everything's going to be perfect. Everything is going to fall into place. This is what I call, I'll try not to swear, but this is what I call BS, on a spiritual path. That's not true. That's not how it is. It's that when we stand strong in our Turenga YY, in our power place, those things have no power over us. When resistance comes up, when rejection comes up, it just doesn't have any power over me, because I am working for spirit. So when spirit wants me to do something, it just gets done. That's all. My personal little self is not in the way. So that was a long way of explaining. So how do you get into your Turenga YY? Well, who do you work for? That's the starting point.
Okay. And then is there a process that you take people through from there?
I do. Yes, I do take my private clients and my mastermind clients through a specific process to help them get anchored in their Turenga YY, because it just doesn't just happen overnight, of course. You can conceptually understand it, but then it's that process of reorienting your whole self. Every cell and every atom of your being needs to reorient. So, and then I also have a meditation, which is like 13 minutes or 12 minutes, something like that, where I guide you through that process of connecting to your Turenga YY. So I'm happy to share that, Michelle, if you want.
Would you be so kind as to allow our guests and our listeners access to that?
Yes, for sure.
Wonderful. Well, folks, make sure that you scroll down into the show notes, and Yelena is very, very generously offering that connection for you. And I honour you, and I thank you very deeply for that. I can see that it will help many.
You're welcome, Michelle. I had such beautiful feedback from that meditation. My mastermind women, they listen to it every single day, and what they've been able to achieve in relatively short space of time by going to that space has been phenomenal. I absolutely love. So that meditation is very short and very simple, yet it's very, very powerful.
Well, as I said before, Yelena, we do overcomplicate things, and in essence, what we really want to encourage people to do is go back to where they came from and to just realign that spark, that divinity within, and allow yourself to be guided by the energies and the frequencies. Now, that being said, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. How can you explain energy vibrations? I saw a post of yours just the other day, positive thoughts radiate positive vibration and create positive changes in the world. Mm-hmm. Now, I posted something similar on my Facebook page and I got a massive amount of responses and I could tell from the responses where people are at in their lives, which is beautiful. Some saying, that's rubbish, your thoughts are just thoughts, others saying, oh yes, my God, I've never read anything so profound. And how do you explain that to people that are not yet aware of how important that cycle is?
Yeah, so what you're asking is how to explain vibration and the impact, the energy, like how energy works.
Yeah, and back to the thought that triggers the vibration.
Yeah, so this is very interesting, and I'll start from a kind of a way back. Humanity moves through phases, and we had the phase thousands of years ago. So each phase is a very, very long period of time. So we move through phases where we are to become conscious of a particular aspect of ourselves. So emotions were really hot thousands of years ago. So then the mind. So like even until recently, the mind has been the thing. That's why there's been so many movies and self-help books about the mind, the power of the mind. And that is very, very true. So, and now we are just beginning to go into the next phase, which is the soul. So you can see how now people are starting to talk. Very few really know what it is, but nonetheless, we are starting to talk about it because this is the beginning. We're the pioneers. And so there is curiosity in that realm. So where I'm leading to is that everybody, so while we as a collective moving through these phases, everybody on the personal level is on their own kind of a continuum on that journey. So for some, the mind may still not be the thing.
Yeah, okay. They still might be in their emotions.
Yeah, that's right. So the emotions are real for them.
Yeah.
So telling them that you have that you have the mind, and that with the power of your mind, you can change your own channel and transform your emotions, or even go deeper and transform your DNA, may not be the thing that they would believe. That doesn't mean we can't explain it, and I'm going to get to that. But I just wanted to give a bigger picture to the whole thing.
Look, and if we don't believe something, it won't affect change.
That's right. So now understanding that, okay, well, where is that person at? What do they believe in? Okay, so maybe that person, like the model of the world in NLP terms, what's their model of the world? And then because we have the capacity to speak, to make sense to that person, we can understand, right? We've been there too. So then it's our job to make it resonate for them. How would it make sense to them? So I would ask you a question, Michelle, for example.
Sure.
Yeah. So considering that, how do you think that could make sense to them for their model of the world?
Well, for a start, we all receive and deliver information differently depending on our body type. So you need to look at the person's mode of communication and how they receive, how they best receive. So, as you say, it's how is their world? What do they believe? And I ask a lot of my clients as well, where are you heading? What do you want to achieve? What do you believe is the truth? and try and find out where their point of reference is coming from, and just try and expand upon that to within their own beliefs, to what resonates for them.
That's exactly right. That's the only way we can help somebody, is by kind of picking them up where they are and offering a bit of an expansion on that. And that everything is an invitation. So that just invites their consciousness to expand to that next level if they want, if they're ready. Everything's an invitation. We cannot do it for them, no matter how much we want. Like, there are certain things I'd like my mum to expand into, but with all my skills and capacities, it's not my right to expand her into that space.
No, I agree. It's beautiful, isn't it? How as we grow spiritually, we have to learn that there are only certain conversations you can have with certain people, and you just have to just allow that to be and seek those that you can have these expanded conversations with and play in that field.
Yeah. And actually, this is actually called honoring, well, in my world anyway, because it will be no use for us to be standing on top of our mountain and talking about the things that are important to us to a person who has a completely different worldview, not making it wrong or bad or anything, but me honoring where they're at and meeting them where is important for them. So that's how I see it. It's just yes, we can say, oh yes, but I know so much more and I could help you because I know so much more. But actually it's everything is a soul journey. So what does the soul need at that time? So when I connect with people, whether it's on, with my mom or my friend or people out there or with my clients, it is soul to soul, spirit to spirit connection. Of course, the human element is there as well. But I always connect at the deeper level as well to know what's right. What's right in that moment.
Absolutely. I was going to ask, also, just, you mentioned your journey. How long have you been on your spiritual path, Yelena? I know we have been since the moment we were born and many eons beforehand, but awakened. How long have you been awakening into your spiritual self?
Yes. A few years now. I don't count actually, but several years now. And you are right that once I started the awakening process, pretty soon I knew in my heart who I was. So I'm a shaman, and I knew in my heart I was born as a shaman. I just forgotten. And so it was the journey of reawakening and remembering myself, which took me a few years to go through the process and to go through all the rites of passages. So I've gone through the 24 rites of passage, well, actually 36, because 12 rites of passage of the healer and the 24 rites of passage of a shaman. And I'm completing the 24 rites of passage of a master shaman. So that's the journey. Every rite of passage is a journey. So that's a journey of many years.
Yeah.
Remembering and reawakening that part in me, and also going deeper and deeper in my relationship to spirit, because ultimately that's what it is about. Absolutely
right. That's for sure. Now, I have a strong sense that we could talk all day. And I'm trusting that our listeners have really appreciated and enjoyed our conversation. Yelena, should someone resonate deeply with you and your work, how will they find you?
Yeah, my Facebook page, you can PM me, find me and PM me on Facebook, Yelena Kostyugova. My name is not easy to spell, but Michelle will have it in the notes.
I do.
I did contemplate picking the easy name for my business, but in the end, my name is what holds the power. for me. So, and of course my website, which Michelle also will put in the notes. So emailing or PMing me is totally cool.
And thank you. Would you tell us a little bit about the gift that you have on offer for our guests?
Yeah, so the gift is my meditation that I mentioned earlier, the Divine Alignment Meditation. And it's about 12 or 13 minutes of meditation that starts with power mantras. Those power mantras were given to me through spirit, so they're keyed in and empowered power mantras, and the meditation itself, which puts you into your power place and helps you to reconnect with your purpose and with your guiding light, really. So it's a very powerful meditation. I heard so much feedback about it. So I'm really glad I recorded it and made it available, because it was for a while, it was only for a closed group of my mastermind women. And then I released it into public, so to speak.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Yelena. So what I'd like to do is just help us summarize for our guests just a few key points for assisting in their spiritual awakening and their journey. I'd love to make point number one from your words, to really ask yourself, who do you work for?
Yeah.
And get really clear on that, so that, well, for a start, you take ego aside, don't you?
Yeah. False ego has to take a back seat, and even your human self has to take a back seat, which is predominantly made of false ego. So because then the soul gets in charge and spirit leads the way. And like I would encourage, every morning you wake up, if you're not sure, then you're asking yourself that question. You see most people asking a question, what's my life purpose? What's my life purpose? What's my life purpose? And it's a dead-end question. The question that I asked myself to get myself into the right zone is, how can I serve?
Yeah.
How can I serve? How can I serve? How can I serve? Every single day, hundreds of times of the day, until I knew how I could serve.
Okay. I love that. So we've got two very powerful questions that people can start running through their mind and the script of their lives. Who do you work for? How can I serve?
Yeah.
Is there another?
Let me see. It's not a question, but a tip. So that would be perfectly fitting into the other two.
Yes.
And the third aspect to it is the feeling is more important than the words. So how it feels is more important than what it sounds like. So getting out of the head, really, because in our head, when we think about our life purpose, we want it to sound good. Now I can define my life purpose, but I couldn't for a long time.
Yeah.
And now I can, because of the processes that I went through.
Yeah.
But for a long time, all I had is that I just know what it feels like. And that's all you need. That is all you need. And actually, you asked me about my meditation. That is exactly what I help you do in that meditation.
Beautiful.
To know what it feels like.
That's gorgeous. And I come back to a few words that you mentioned earlier, to just slide into the feeling of your greatest power and just start to really switch on the energy centers and pay attention to the energy swirling around you and invite them in. Because we have so much help available to us, which is not able to reach us until we reach out to it.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, like I say, you're never alone. We can feel very, very lonely on our spiritual path because we are going through the process of individuation from mass consciousness, so that we can embody our full potential and our full divine spark, the the blueprint that's encoded in our monad. And so that's our process of individuation is very painful because we have to let go of everything that we know, everything that we are used to, and also be okay to be alone. Be okay to be alone for a while on our journey. And that process kind of happens that way, that we separate ourselves. That's what I see, and that's what I went through as well, is that we separate ourselves away from the herd.
The herd, yes. Yes.
Consciousness, right?
Yes, yes.
Way, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So we separate ourselves and it gets too painful, too lonely. And we, like a rubber band, we swing back and we go and have a conversation that we like, low frequency conversation, or get into the old scenarios and dramas and low frequency stuff. And then we're like, no, I can't do this. This is not me. And then we pull away again. And then it's like, oh, it's just so lonely. And then so it's that process of going back and forth for a little while until, what I say, we've got strong spiritual muscles to be able to sustain ourselves, to walk alone. I had a vision recently, actually, about camels coming to water, and the camel represents, and this is my spiritual teacher explained it to me. So the camel represents us. So on our spiritual path, we have to be able to go it alone, carry our own water, because the water out there may be polluted, which it is. So, I'd better not drink than drink polluted water. But so in my dream, in my vision, what I saw camels coming together, and actually that was a symbol for me to create a program for my group coaching program for women who want to come together and drink clean water on their journey. So to make that available. The reason I'm sharing the vision is that because everybody who listens to your podcast would resonate with being a camel. I would imagine that you're creating the same. You're creating a space where camels can drink water.
Lovely, clean, fresh water. And how beautiful it is when you find that space that resonates and you feel you're not going to be judged, you're going to be supported and loved, and you step into that collective consciousness of the new world energy, which is love.
That's right.
And guys and girls and those listening, those that find us, we are here to remind you that you don't have to do this alone. There is a time and a period of being uncomfortable, but it is worth going through that uncomfortableness and getting to the other side. Remember that it's not who you are, it's how you're being. And as you show up and shine your light brighter and brighter, you collect with other bright lights. And there will be someone there to help carry you forth to the next stage of your journey. And if that is resonating with you, please reach out and connect into both Yelena and my communities. We're not asking you to work with us. You're welcome to, but we would love to work alongside you. So, Yelena, that being said, I would love to thank you very deeply for your time and your energy and your presence today. I love how fast time flies when we're having authentic conversations. And is there anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Yes. Even if you're not sure, even if you feel afraid or not good enough, stand for something that's true in your heart, and the whole universe will stand by you.
Wow. Thank you. That was beautiful. You know that the goosebumps never lie theory?
Yes, I have them quite frequently.
So thank you once again. And from us it's goodbye until next week. Shine bright, superstars. That is why you're here. With all the love and the light that you can hold, we send your way.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Yelena. Bye, everybody.